spinal cord stimulator, and medical marijuana. In addition, I've tried everything I can think of to manage my pain. Acupuncture, massage, Chinese herbs, Calmare, multiple functional restoration programs, copious hours of physical therapy, ketamine infusions, almost all of which I had to pay for out of pocket because they were not covered by insurance. And I was so lucky that I had the opportunity to do that. Unfortunately, it was a waste of time and money. Many made me worse. Nothing takes me down to a livable low as far as pain. But for me, methadone is enough to take the edge off. It takes my pain from suicidally bad down to just plain agony. How is it that the richest and one of the most advanced countries in the world are left to suffer because their lives are seen as not as valuable as someone else's? What am I supposed to tell my 8-year-old son, Keegan? Sorry, honey, I can't make it to your soccer game this week because a bunch of doctors that have never treated me before and know nothing about me or my medical condition and don't see the value of my medications and the positive impact that it has not only on my life but the life of my family. Think about that. I have been living with chronic pain for over 4.5 years, but I am curious, how many of you are actually treating chronic pain on a regular basis? How many of you effectively pass judgment on the positive, can effectively pass judgment on the positive aspects of opiates when all you see are addiction? When you spend all your day treating addicts, as soon as you meet somebody that takes these medications, you look at them and you see another addict. And I'm not an addict. I take my medications responsibly and as directed. In truth, according to the National Institute of Health, 95% of chronic pain patients use their medications as directed. The 1 to 3% that become addicted had issues with addiction prior to the onset of chronic pain. Yes, there are some addicts that have chronic pain, but just because someone takes high doses of opiates, it does not mean that they are addicted or a criminal. In fact, there have been no studies whatsoever to prove that long-term opiates are harmful. There are millions of people out there that take daily opiates for years without issue. We have a right to these medications. They're improving our lives and our medical condition. And the CDC agrees. In fact, the CDC itself says that these guidelines were designed to be just that, guidelines. They were never meant to be state policy or law. At the Opiate Forum last month, we heard Katrina say that Oregon was not planning on adopting the CDC guidelines as Oregon state opiate prescribing policy. Yet here we are less than a month later talking about the exact same thing. So what's the truth? Are you working to get these guidelines implemented as state policy? Or is it, as you said during the forum, will these just be guidelines and loosely based ways for doctors to decide? Every year, 16,500 people, according to the CDC, die nationwide due to both illegal and prescription opiates. Nationwide. In Oregon, that's 160 people a year. 160 people. At the same time, 44,000 people a year are committing suicide, and 95% have untreated chronic pain as a factor in their suicide. I mean, so you're putting 40,044,000 people, their lives aren't worth as much as the 16,500 that are dying annually. The CDC itself says the guidelines should be used as a framework, not as a policy. The doctors should use it as recommendations to keep an eye out for the nominal number of people that abuse the system and their medications. It should be in no way used to take away opiates from non-cancerous chronic pain patients or to treat us as criminals and take away our right to due process by requiring mandatory monthly drug screening, random pill counts, amongst other things that patients are forced to give up in order to get treatment for our medical conditions. At the same time, substances like benzos are just as abused and just as lethal as opiates, and yet patients that take those medications don't require monthly doctor's appointments, drug screenings, pill counts, stigmatizations, and the criminalizations that chronic pain patients face just because we take opiates and not benzos. It's ridiculous that we have to confront the stigma, and not only from our family and our friends in the mainstream now our doctors, who they're supposed to be caring for us and keeping our best interests at heart. And now our government, who are supposed to be protecting our constitutional rights, are giving them away.
Mary, can I ask you to wrap it up?
Yeah.
5 minutes. Thank you.
Our doctors should have our backs. They should be able to tell how opiates improve our functionality and quality of life. But once again, I look around and I don't see chronic pain specialists. How can you truly discuss all aspects of opiates when you look at it from one side? Addiction. Chronic pain patients who depend on these medications to live, our voices aren't represented. We are the voices that should be the most important in this conversation because we are the innocents affected. I am so disappointed in the secrecy and biased nature of this committee. The CDC itself says that these should not be policies, so what right do you have to make them that way? We deserve better, and we have a right to effective pain control.
Thank you very much.